In this video, we'll talk about brevity and context in communication. So let's start with the phrase less is more. You have to be less in your words and more in your message. So suppose you are communicating and you're pouring the listener with lots and lots and lots of words, the listener will feel a disconnect from you while you are trying to communicate. So being very brief with your words, very brief in your expression is very important part of communication. Your brevity is basically choosing the right words, small words. Your big message should be delivered in very less words. So there are some points which you can keep in mind to keep your communication very brief and effective. The first point is prepare. You should be prepared for what you are going to communicate. You should be very well read. The second point is be mindful. You have to be mindful with what you are communicating. It is very important to deliver your message to the head of your listener. So if you are mindful, your message is very tactfully delivered to the listener who is listening to you. So you have to be known of your context, known of your things which you are going to deliver in that particular conversation. The third point is connection. So at times we forget that communication is a two-way process. So two people are involved in communication. So when two people are involved, a connection is also needed while you are communicating. So if you forget that connection, your listener will feel a disconnect with you, and that disconnect will create a huge gap in your communication. So while you are communicating, you have to keep in mind that the context which you are talking about should be clear to the listener. You should be very clear about your context, because if you will not make your context clear, the listener will understand from his or her perspective, and that perspective can be totally different. So being clear in the context, if you will make your context very clear that this is my context, this is what I am talking about in this whole communication, the listener will listen to you from that perspective. So now you can see that how brevity and how context also plays a very important role in communication, and that makes your communication very effective. Thank you.